but if you like, you can just take a screenshot of this. Let me just maximize it, because I don't think there's a need for us to use a smaller screen. Okay, good. Now, what my suggestion would be, take a screenshot of this. Even if you don't take it now, you can still access their website, and then you take a screenshot of these words. They're about 50 something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they're just 50 words. And what we are trying to achieve is see if we can come up with a sentence on each and every one of these words, right? So usually what they do is when you're learning these words, you get pre-made sentences which are not really related, and they're always there online. I think we'll also share some of them eventually on some of the words. But on the other words that we can come up with our own sentences, my encouragement would be, let's try and come up with our own sentences that are related. And that way it cements in, it's not like we're just reading sentences and trying to remember what the sentences we're saying, because some of the time they won't be really related to us. And sometimes we won't even remember what we read afterwards. It works, but the other way is more effective. So I tried to come up with something. If we were to go back, I think I should just do a new share. Let's see. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Good. Can you see my new screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is part of what we looked at last time. And one of those rules that we liked was there were no articles, things like the and a, which made their sentence construction very easy. Sometimes we could just use the subject and the predicate, the subject, and adverb, verb, and object. But the easiest formation will be just subject, verb, and object, right? So that means we just need to learn our subjects, pick up a few verbs, and objects. That way we are already speaking Chinese. I go shop. If we say that, we are already saying to somebody we are going to the shops. I go work. Just those three. Every time you want to come up with a sentence, just think of 3 words. Don't complicate things by trying to create a long sentence. See if you can start up with just those 3 words, even if you are not sure on the tenses, because as we noticed last time, tenses are not really a thing in Chinese. There are some words that you can add in to modify, but just trying to come up with 3 worded sentences. I think it will be easier that way, and we can eventually build up from there. So we want to come up with these subjects that I picked up, and want to bring them up here on the new share. This time around, as long as we have power, what we will do, I'll also try and put it up in a PDF so that it will be easier for you to follow along. Let's paste them here. Right, good. I think it's English on both sides. We are going to leave it like that so that it doesn't translate for us automatically. Now, we'll start with the easy ones. How do we say I?
我
Oh, is correct. That's good. And how do we say you?
你
Ni is correct. That's good. How do we say we or us?
我们
Or man is the plural marker, so that's very correct. And how do we say it?
他
他
Ta is correct, yes. Which one is the ta we're talking of?
This is a good point.
So I'm seeing many here.
I don't see them. Or on the list?
Ah, yeah, good. Yeah, I can only see them because they are on a pop-up keyboard, right? Okay, let's do it this way. I'm just going to write them now. All right, let's go. Okay, so here we go.
Okay, so the third one, because the first one is ta for she, her.
Look what Google is doing for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he translated it all.
Cheated.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we get it. So very good, spot on. This one is for she, right? I think
Yes,
somebody
she.
telling me the answers. Yeah. So there we go. We have she. I'm just gonna switch the keyboard back to English slightly, so that we say she or he, or her rather, and then he or him. And as we said last time, this would be it, right? Okay, nice. And you, Kuro?
Nieman.
Amen.
Yes. Let me switch back to. Sorry. Okay, and they for the people?
Tamen.
Yes, very correct. Oh, sorry, I felt it. There we go. They for animals or objects.
Also Tamen, but
Tamen.
the different character.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Everyone?
Learn.
Sorry, come again.
When.
Oh yes, that's also as well. Which one?
Ren.
What's the other way?
Mm. Is it Megarin?
Yes, Mercury is also good. And
Garen.
Garen, yes, Garen is also good. Which one would you hear if you want to say, hi everyone?
Oh,
Datia.
Yes.
大家. Good
That's the one I
job.
was looking for.
很好.
Yeah.
很好. 非常好.
大家好, yes. So there's so many ways, but 大家好, you hear that more. Yeah, I think we're gonna put that at the first. It's your first protocol. So I'm gonna put it here. Okay. Perfect. And us, including the speaker.
Woman.
Okay, woman. Yeah, but that doesn't really include the speaker. Mostly it does, but
Ichi.
there's another one. Yes, yeah. Actually, what we did that is together, right? But there's another one. I'm just gonna write them down here so that we remember them. You said ichi, and then you said woman. And there's another one which starts with Z, remember?
自己.
Okay.
Zeren.
自然.
Zanmei.
自们. Oh,
Zanmen.
Tanmen.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the one which includes speak. Okay, so you see here, if you say we or men, we each together, right? So you see each will be used sometimes with these two, right? You can use each together with that. Yeah. Or men each two, right? Tannen Ichi,
Ichi.
chi,
Okay.
right? So let us all go just together. It. So each will be more of a supportive, but not really the we part, but a supportive.
Like a compliment.
Perfect. That's the word.
Okay.
All right, good. So other people,
Parent.
very, very good. Let's go with bearing. Bearing will do. If you hear bearing or which is also bearing, but you know, some people will use Pieta.
Pieta.
Piedra. Piedren.
Yes, it's the same thing. All right, good. So now, and individually, this one, Dave, you got it right last time.
Oh, Megaran.
Megarin, yes, Megarin now is
Otichi.
TGS. Yeah.
Oh, Titi. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Titi.
Yeah. Good. Nice. So now we have these subjects. You see, we have covered much of or everything that we might need to say, like they, them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with these subjects, we're no longer really worried to say, if we find something that we don't really know in Chinese. Let's see. Right there. You see this animal.
Mm-hmm.
What will you call it?
We would call it Ta.
Huh?
Yes, you just go with ta, right? Because we no longer need to worry about how do we call each and every object, right? Even if you are translating for people and you don't know what to call this huge item or small item, you just point at it, ta, you just point at them, tamen, right? Like that. So that's the trick with knowing these subjects, and there are not so many. So that's very good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy them so that I can prepare a PDF, some notes PDF, and then you can also copy them afterward. So just a second, I'm just going to create a new note and paste them there. Good, perfect. Now, coming back, we want to pick up a few. We did a bit of these verbs last time when we were talking about eating, but we want to go further. And okay, here we go. There's a bit of a dialogue that I was trying to come up with, and yeah, it's pretty long, so we'll go through it little by little. Let's see. Okay, good. So these are, again, like I mentioned, we will go through them and then we'll just, trying to construct sentences, but I will give them to you as a PDF, so no need to worry about that. But
Okay.
if you want, yeah, I don't think it's necessary anyway. So let's move ahead. Now we're back. What we want to do is we want to see if we can, like I mentioned earlier, get a screenshot of this one. And then we go through these words and see if we have used them. If you have used them, you just cancel it out because you know you have used it in a sentence before. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what we will need next are a couple of verbs, right? Because you remember our construction rule is subject, verb, and then object. Okay. Like this. So for example, if you pick this one, cha,
Cha.
which is tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have bait for cup,
Right.
right? And we have ban, bout. Remember, we have car. All these are objects. And then we have these words like to eat, and to sing, and also to which other word? This one here. To go out. I'm out, right? Eat. So we want to match this with what we were doing last time. Okay. So
Mhm.
for example, we want to go. Let's start with Dave. Dave, can you
Mhm.
please say I eat buns. I eat buns.
I eat buns. 我吃包子.
Yes. 我吃包子. That's one way. Okay. 我吃包子. Like that. Okay. Very spot on, right? Even the translation in English as well. Is very good. So
Good job.
so here we, as you see, we have just three parts, right? Our subject, our verb, and our object. So we don't need to complicate our sentences. Just like that. That's what we want to continue doing.
Mhm.
Okay. Ian, do you want to try? I drink tea.
我喝茶.
Yes. Cha. Cha. Okay. Cha. That's good. So this is what we'll try and work on. Let me see if I can do this share, because there are parts of it that I think we might also incorporate from here. Okay, from here. Did we do no share last time? Share. Okay, I'm gonna increase the size so that it's I'm sorry. I'm trying to see if I can increase the size without select it first. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It was hiding up there. Now I see it. Font. Oh, there's a shortcut. Command plus.
Mm.
Command plus. Should have done that. Now it's getting back. Oh, so good. Nice. So can you see this now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. All right. So what we will do, this is basic stuff. We'll just touch on it as we go. Another way we can create sentences is through the word she, right? She.
是.
And she, as you noticed, it can mean to yes, but it can also mean is or are, right? So we can
Mhm.
use it to create sentences. And what we are doing in this case is we are connecting two nouns, right? Okay, let's pick this for
Mhm.
example. We'll just pick this sentence. We say, this is the current part. If we say one, if we say a noun from here, this will just mention a person name. Noun one, then she, noun two. Okay, this is more like we're saying the first noun is equal to the second one. All right, and you can create sentences like this. I've copied this part from last time. Mom is, I think I'll just say mom is a doctor. All right, In this case,
Mhm.
in Chinese, we will be saying, let's show more. I'm not sure why it's not translated to Chinese, but okay. Just hold on. I'm just gonna remove this part and then say, oh, sorry, I realized why it wasn't translated. It was supposed to be to Chinese. No, no, it's
No, still not.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, let's do it like this. And then I think maybe because there's some Chinese and then there's some English. Let's remove this part. Okay. I was confused.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
There
good.
it is.
So now we're back. You can see the she is in the middle. Doctor is on
Mhm.
the side and mom is on this side, right?
Mhm.
So that's how we can create sentences with she. All right. So who wants to give me an example? Dave, can you try with Jehovah?
Okay. 耶和华是上帝。
Very good. Okay, I'm gonna use Chinese thing. 耶和华是上帝. Okay, perfect. So that noun just stands in the middle. Ian, do you want to try with Jesus?
耶稣是弥赛亚，
Very good. 耶稣是Okay, so I think we should translate to English this time around, right? Good. So we've managed to merge two nouns using the word she. Now this is where we're headed. We wanna change this into a question. All right. How do we do that? So remember, on our notes, we would have said we have already covered connecting two words with she. Now we are already on the part where we wanna say we are asking questions. Okay, so I'm going to put this out and then we'll put it on your notes as well. Okay, good. Now let's put this into a question. How do we change this into a question? Is your mom? Is your mom? Or we just say is mom because we're not really worried about whose mom it is. Let's just say is mom. It's refusing to, right? Try mother there. There's another Chinese word that's closer to that. It's more like okay. Okay, Miss Mother Doctor, how do we change mom is a doctor to is mother a doctor? How do we do that?
Would we add ma at the end?
Yes, very good, right? Mama 是医生吗? Okay.
医生.
Mama 是医生吗? All right. Ian, is Jehovah God?
耶和华是上帝吗？
Yes, Jehovah 是上帝吗? Okay, is Jesus the Messiah?
耶稣是弥赛亚吗?
Very good, nice. So again, we like Chinese because you remember we said a, and the. We're not concerned about them. They just, they just come naturally. So mother, a doctor, we just say mom, she, yisheng ma. Just two nouns and the word ma at the end. Okay, good. So with this, would have changed our sentences into a question. So that's another grammar point there that we've just covered. We're still time today because we know these are some of the things that we already know. All right. So now what we will do is we will come back here to our words. Okay. And you will see some of these, I think they're on the second part because there are not so many nouns on this one. They're not so many. Not so many. Okay. Yeah, here there are not so many. But we have one, which is Papa. All right, Papa. This one. And we have another one, which we can also think of. We have Beren. Beren.
Yeah.
And we have Pang Man. Okay, so yeah, these ones I think I'll give it to you as out of homework. See how you can come up with them. But there are some that I think I made. Let's see. Okay, well, we just did Ma. Okay, good. Now that we've done Ma, let's just touch on this one quickly because it's also part of the basic stuff, because we're not going to come back on the basic stuff in the future. So let's cover this one, this point as well. Na. Okay, that's what we want to touch on. Na.
No.
It's an interrogation. It's
No.
also more like Ma, but it doesn't. Ma, unlike Ma, which has the yes and no, right? For example, what we were saying last time, Yesu is Messiah Ma. What's your answer, Dave?
对.
All right. Dway is correct, but what I've also noticed, what I've also noticed, which is very interesting in Chinese. Let's touch on that real quick. Wait, right? And okay, we'll do this as affirmative. It's called positive. Positive. Okay, 10 minutes. That's fine. Positive. Okay, here we go. I don't know what's feeling. Positive, negative. Okay, positive, negative. This is also part of positive, negative formation. This is also another way of asking questions, right?
Oh, okay. So like 是不是?
Very good. Let's take that. Right? And 对
对不对?
对不对, right? Very good.
香不香?
Very good.
要不要?
Yeah, boy, yeah. And you have or don't have?
有没有?
All right. Okay, good. Now let's pause here because I think we get the idea. So if I ask you, 是不是, and you want to say yes, Ian, 是不是?
是.
All right. If 对不对?
对.
Very good. Ian, you don't want this time. 像不像?
不像.
Very good. Dave, 要不要?
I want or not want?
You don't want.
不要.
Very good. 有没有? You have or you don't
没有.
want? 没有. Good. Nice. So this is the point that I'm trying to drive at is, if you noticed, 是不是 gives you the answer. Is it A or B? Okay, your options are already there. This is why we are saying 是不是, you are not saying 对. You are saying 是 because you have the answers given to you already. All right. So now when we say 耶稣是上帝吗? Or Yes,
是
sayama. Okay, your answer should be
是
Sure.
yes, and not
Not 对.
对
even though the way is correct, it's a favorite.
Right.
But because you used sure, that makes it easy for us. We don't need to think of another way.
That's a good
You
point.
already gave us the ways that we could use. Okay.
Mhm.
So the idea is always make it easier for ourselves because we're learning the language. So we want to use what you have given us. That's what arms us. Okay, so perfect. Now we have also touched on positive, negative formation.
Perfect.
So can we ask questions like that? Like 上帝是不是耶和华？
Okay, you can ask those questions, but you also need to pay attention to does it sound natural to ask it that way, right?
Oh,
In Shibushi will work in an instance where you pass in a logic, right? Like for example, you say all this evidence points to the fact that Jesus is the Messiah. Shibushi,
okay.
yes. So you give a point, and then you then you give then you throw it to the people and say, okay, is that right, or is that not right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we can clearly see that Jehovah is God, Shibushi.
Mm,
Yeah. And then
okay.
you go, you build on that. For another example, we'll take which for example, with Yo Mayo, you see that you won't use your Mayo in a point where you're trying to develop a point, but this will be a scenario where you're actually asking people that do you have or you don't have. In that case, you will not be able to use it along with the reasoning. But this is something like we're looking for money, right? Do you have or you don't have? In that case, there is no reasoning included, but that specific thing, do you have it or you don't have it? So this use of these questions, the positive, negative information, will only come into play while considering the context and how natural it sounds to use at the time.
Okay.
Yes, we want
Much
to.
clearer.
Yeah, you want to go. We want to go swimming. Yao bu yao. Let's talk in Chinese. Yao bu yao. Okay.
Okay.
So, and as you can see, mainly they come at the end. You will not choose shibushi and then you say something in front of it. Usually it comes at the end where you just say, you've already gave your reason, and then you're asking now shibushi. You get that?
Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, naturally it won't come in the middle where you are still giving your reason. Then it will be out of place in a way. So I think we will do some practice in the future as well. We will see when we start incorporating dialogues from other textbooks. We'll pick up and then we'll see how they use them as well. Okay, good. So here we are with na. We were saying na, unlike ma, which follows yes or no. All right, we did an example with yesu, she, messiah ma. The answer was simple, she. Okay, because it's a ma at the end, so you can either go with she, which is yes, or doi, like Dave did, which is also correct. But you see, you can just do one word answers with ma. Okay. Not so long, not so descriptive answers, but with na, you can actually give a descriptive answer. For example, we use na in this scenario. Can you do this dialogue together? Dave, A.
Okay. 你好吗？
我很好，你呢？
So what will be your answer, Dave?
我也好，我也好。
Yes, very good. Very good. Yeah, nice. So and then hold on to that because we'll comment slightly on your answer because that's something that we also need to touch on our grammar points. So, but for now we are on na, all right? As you noticed, he didn't say 是 or 对, right? He gave a descriptive answer where he said, I'm also very good. So that's what we do with na. Now, na usually follows a subject or an object. Okay, let's just write that down. Okay, subject plus na, object plus na. It's usually like this. Just those two will be sufficient, right? Or how ni, that's the subject. Na, we give the floor to you. Okay. All right. Let's we have less than we have slightly above a minute, but okay, let's just cover this up. I think it fits in our time. For example, we want to say, let's come here with our words. Ian, last time you mentioned about drinking tea, right? How do you say? No, let's not do what we've already done. That won't be very good for us. Okay. Ian, can you say Dave? This time, don't say Dave because you don't know his name. Just say he went to eat food. He went to eat food.
除了吃饭
Yes, you can go with 他吃饭. Okay, 他吃饭.